Hey guys, it's me, and today I am doing a special little video, or else it's probably be really big because I've got a huge pile of all my favorite book series of all time. Look at that pile. That pile is huge, except for I'm missing one. Dang it. I forgot about that one, but I think I'm going to end up having a special one for that one because, it's awesome. So yeah, hey guys! First book series ever. I'm just warning you, I don't have the first and second books for the series in my house possession because I got them at the library. So I will give you the book, the first book that I have, which is book 3. It says that right there. It's the Septimus Heap. I can't talk. The Septimus Heap series by Angie Sage, and this series was so awesome. It's actually, I think it's classified as young adult. And it was really good. I think this definitely falls in the fantasy category, but I'm not sure. But this series is just awesome. It definitely has some things that we don't have in real life, such as ghosts that actually, are visible, although they have to show themselves to you. They've got dragons, and they've got magic. That's a big one. This series is about wizards. It's a lot like Harry Potter, but I think it's different. I never finished the Harry Potter series, by the way, so it's not in this stack. I can't finish it. I can't get through the 4th book. I've tried, I think, 3 times, and I'm probably going to try again, so. Oh my god, it's just so frustrating. So, yeah, and I don't know how to talk about this series just because it, there's a lot of different, things that actually happen in the series that, it's almost like, a different, huge drama thing for each book. And there are 7 books in the series, and you'll see why that is when you get into the story. But it is about Septimus Heap, and it does kind of go back and forth between characters. I'm not sure if any of you guys like that. It depends on the writer, I think. For me about that, but I definitely like a lot of, things where you're either in the future with some crazy, government and, stuff like that, or with, witches and wizards and ghosts and stuff, and vampires and werewolves and all kinds of mystical fairy tale things. So that's definitely what this is about. Well, not this particular book, but my stack. That's what I like. Look up this. I don't know how to describe this series to you. The first one is called Magic. It's Septimus Heap Magic. That's the first book, if I'm remembering correctly, and I know I am because, yep. Here you go. There they all are. Although I got this book back when only book 4 was available, so there are 7 books now. The series is gone. Well, not gone, but it's over. Alright. Next book in the stack is Scott Westerfeld's Ugly series. Oh my goodness, this is another one from my middle school years, which actually that one I just showed you was from that I started in middle school, and I finished it this year, so I'm a slow reader. I'm just kidding, I'm really quick. But that series, I read a book, I take 2 years off. I read the next 1 or 2, and then I take a year off. So, it took me forever to finish it, but it was worth it. It was a good series. I really like it. And I definitely think I want to start at the beginning one time and just blow through it, because I really don't remember what happened in the beginning. So yeah, but the Scott Westerfeld's Ugly series is definitely one of those futuristic books where you're in a government after a war. And the first book in the series, well, the series is 4 books, even though they're called a trilogy, but there is a 4th book called Extras. As you can see, you have all the titles of the books right there. It says Ugly's Pretty Specials Extras. Each word is a book. There are 4 books in the whole series, I guess. They call it a trilogy because the first 3 are told in the perspective? I don't know. Yeah, I think that's the right word. Of Tally Youngblood. And the 4th one is not. It's told by someone else. But she does appear in the series, so that is interesting. And the way they portrayed Tally in the fourth book was very, very interesting for me. But that's not the point. Though. We're talking about the series. I love this series so much. I read it twice. All these series, I think I've read more than once, unless I haven't finished them. And they're so far going really well. Most of them I finished, which breaks my heart because they're all so good. But yeah, this book series is definitely good. I'll read the back really quick. It says, Tally's about to turn 16 and she can't wait. In just a few weeks, she'll have the operation that will turn from a repellent ugly into a stunningly attractive pretty. Hope, stop it. She wants to leave. And as a pretty, she'll be catapulted into a high-tech paradise where her only job is to have fun. But Tally's day finds Shay isn't sure she wants to become a pretty. When Shay runs away, Tally learns about a whole new side of the pretty world, and it isn't very pretty. The authorities offer Tally a choice. Find her friend and turn her in, or never turn pretty at all. Tally's choice will change the world forever, and it really does. This is definitely a futuristic government dystopian. It just ends up getting so deep in the second, and even in the first book it kind of gets a little deep. It's just crazy how deep the series gets, and I really, really love it. The series is really good. I recommend it. So yeah, Scott Westerfield and the Ugly series. Look it up. It's awesome. Alright. I'm going to have to do this in like a series because I can't do my gigantic stack in a shortish video. Next up is the Witch and Wizard series, which I don't think is finished. But I absolutely love this series. It's awesome. This is once again this is not Harry Potter actually. It's like a magical it's like a mix of like the wizard magical concept with like the government issues and war. So yeah, it's really good. Let me read that back. It begins or ends like this. It's overwhelming. A city's worth of energy a city's worth of angry faces staring up at me like I'm a wicked criminal. The stadium is filled up past capacity. Hundreds of thousands of curious, uncaring, or at least indifferent faces. And there are no moist eyes, much less tears. No words of protest, no stopping feet, no fists raised in solidarity. In fact, as the countdown ticker flashes onto the giant video screens, it's looking to be my family's last day. Okay, so first of all, I'm not even done reading the bag. And second of all, if you're not already hooked, you're crazy. I see my brother, wondering if there's some last-minute way out of this. I see my mother crying quietly for winning me. I see my father, stooped up with resignation, but smiling at me and my brother, trying to remind us that there's no point in being miserable in our last moments on this planet. And again, if you're not reeled in by now, you're insane. But I'm getting ahead of myself. There's a lot to cover before we get to the details of our public execution. So let's go back a bit. And then you start the book. So I'm hooked, and I got goosebumps reading it, and I already know what happened. So you must read it if you like magical, crazy government stuff. You know, it's awesome, guys. It's awesome. It gets so deep and so twisted in the books. Kids are getting killed, and I've said no. All right. This book is a bit of a children's series, but I love the series so much, and it was so cool. This was definitely a middle school thing for me. A lot of my middle school series I ended up falling in love with, and I still love today. This one being the Click series. I think there were 14 books in the series before Lacey Harrison called the series quits. God, this series, it's just insane. It's a clique, and you've got the clique of 4 girls who are like BFFs, and like the most popular girls in school, and everyone loves or hates them, more or less. And then the new girl comes. You can only imagine how they treat her, especially when the new girl lives on the Queen Bee's property. Let's read the back. Meet the clique. Massey Block with her glass... I'm going to mess up, so I apologize. Massey Block, with her glossy brunette bob and laser-whitened smile, Massey is the uncontested ruler of the clique and the rest of the social scene at Octavian Country Day School, an exclusive private girls' school in Westchester County, New York. Massey knows you'd give anything to be just like her. No, I wouldn't. You're mean. Dylan Marvel, Massey's second in command, who divides her time between sucking up to Massey and sucking down Atkins' side chicks. Yep. Alicia Rivera. As sneaky as she is beautiful, Alicia floats easily under adult radar because she seems so sweet. Would love to take Maxie's throne one day. Just might. That's foreshadowing to the series. I love that. You would have known. I had no idea, but you know. Kristen Gregory. She's smart, hardworking, will insult you to tears faster than you can say my haircut isn't ugly. Depends. You're not mean. Alright, whatever. Enter Claire Lyons, the new girl from Florida and kids in 2-year-old Gap overalls, who is clearly not click material. Unfortunately for her, Claire's family is staying in the guest house on Massey's family's huge estate while they look for a new home. Claire's future looks worse than a bad product knockoff. But with a little luck and a lot of scheming, Claire might just come out smelling like Chanel No. 19. So there are 14 books in the series, along with a summer series, 1 book for each girl, which consists of 5 books. And there's a prequel that they made, which in the end, after the entire series is over, which I actually cried at the end, I think, it just ended up totally bringing everything together and made so much more sense how everything worked. It just made 1,000 things so much more like clear to me. So Hope, you can see her in the background. But yeah, the Click is definitely great, especially if you are not into gigantic books and you like a lot of books into a series. So the Click. Oh, and it doesn't have any supernatural stuff in it. It's just normal girl drama. Which I don't know why I liked it, because I hate girl drama, but you know, it was good. Alright. This series was so good. I got hooked on it because I was introduced to it in my high school book club when I was still in public high school. And it's called Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. I think that's how you pronounce it. Stiefvater. It is so beautiful. It has werewolves in it. But it's a love story, and it's just so amazing and beautiful, and there are definitely twists and turns in the series. People die, and it's just so good. Let me read the back. The Cold. Grace has spent years watching the wolves in the woods behind her house. One yellow-eyed wolf, her wolf, watches back. He feels deeply familiar to her, but she doesn't know why. The heat. Sam has lived 2 lives. As a wolf, he keeps the silent company of the girl he loves. And then, for a short time each year, he is human, never daring to talk to Grace until now. You can already tell it's amazing. The Shiver. For Grace and Sam, the love has always been kept at a distance, but once it's spoken, it cannot be denied. Sam must fight to stay human, and Grace must fight to keep him, even if it means taking on the scars of the past, the fragility of the present, and the impossibility of the future. And I just got chills when you did it, you're insane. So this is a trilogy. There are 3 books in the series. The second one is called Linger, and the third one is called Forever. It's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It's beautiful. And I totally recommend the series, especially if you like werewolves and stuff like Twilight. It's a really great book. And it does go back and forth between the characters, but I was okay with it. It was a really good series. I really liked it. Alright. This book series I found randomly. I forget exactly how I found it, but I found it completely randomly. Oh yeah, I think it was because I was searching around, I was looking around in the bookstore, and I just randomly came across it, and I thought it looked interesting. This book, and the 6th book in the series, total, including this one, 5 books after this one, this series. I don't even have words for this right now. It is the Gone series by Michael Grant. There are 6 books total in the series. It's unbelievable. You can tell that, like, the book is amazing because of the back. Listen. In the blink of an eye, everyone disappears. Gone. Everyone except for the young. Teens, middle schoolers, toddlers, but not a single adult. No teachers, no cops, no doctors, no parents. Gone too are the phones, internet, and television. There's no way to get help. Hunger threatens, bullies rule, a sinister creature lurks. Animals are mutating, and the teens themselves are changing, developing new talents. unimaginable, dangerous, deadly powers that grow stronger by the day. It is a terrifying new world. Sides are being chosen and war is imminent. The first in a breathtaking saga about teens battling each other in their darkest selves. Gone is a page-turning thriller that will make you look at the world in a whole new way. And I know I did, definitely. And the series, guys, it's unbelievable. I'm not going to tell you, like, how it all got to be like that, because that'll kind of, like, ruin some of it. But, the series, it's such an amazing concept. And, like, some of the series in this pile, I don't even know where it comes from. It just blows me away. It's like, wow. I blew through this series so quickly. I think there was the entire series in a week. 2 weeks tops. And there are 6 books of like 500 pages each. And it was just unbelievable. I couldn't put the books down. I was ordering like the books by like 2 at a time on Amazon Prime, so they'd come in 2 days. It was just mind-blowing. And, excuse me, Michael Grant is an amazing author. I definitely want to look up more books from him. And it just blows me away. And I definitely am going to read the series again. And I definitely want to say that it does have a bit of, like, I'm not going to say supernatural. Well, yeah, it does, because the kids develop powers. But it does have a supernatural vibe to it. But it doesn't have vampires or werewolves or wizards or any of the usual things. Fairies, no fairies. So it does get very interesting. It said war is imminent, so it's amazing. It really is amazing. And literally, I was like, the whole time I was reading the book, when I wasn't like literally in the world with them, I was always thinking like what I would be doing if I was in that world. Well, first of all, I was always trying to remind myself, you can't be in that world because you're not in the category that the kids are, like that, like the kids, like you're not in the category with the kids. You're categorized as an adult with your age. I gave you a hint there, but I didn't say anything. So if you love that, you need to check out the series. You just have to. It's a mandatory read if you like stuff like that. It's just necessary. Inkheart by Cornelia Funk, another middle school read, and I loved it. And I read this series like 3 times. And I'll definitely be reading it again because the series, I wish she would do more on it because it just blows me away. The creativity and the story, the way she writes, it just made me feel like I was reading a storybook, but it was like a storybook for like adults. It was like really cool, and I just really loved reading it. It's definitely fantasy because there's a bunch of stuff that goes. Okay, here, let me read this now. One cruel night, Maggie's father reads aloud from Inkheart, an evil ruler named Capricorn escapes from the boundaries of the book, landing in their living room. Suddenly, Maggie's in the middle of the kind of adventures she thought only took place in fairy tales. Somehow, she must master the magic that has conjured up this nightmare. Can she change the course of the story that's changed her life forever? Basically, from the gist of this book, well, not even that book, the description of the book. Oh boy, so the evil character came out of the book. So that alone is kind of like, how does that happen? It gets so good, guys. It's a trilogy. I actually want to look up if she had done more with it because it's just so amazing. Reading it, it takes you in, but at the same time, it's like a soothing way to take you in. It rocks you to sleep sometimes, but some things are also really scary. So it's really good. It's really interesting. I think this is young adult. No, never mind. It's a children's book, apparently. It says, Publishers Weekly says it's the best children's book, so you know. It's amazing. I totally recommend it if you love, like, fantasy stuff. Like look at the cover, okay? There are fairies, lizards, like, pearls. There's a key. There's a book. There's, like, a hand coming out of a magical world in the book, and it's an amazing story. It really is. Definitely. Oh my god, I just finished this series, and seeing the cover just like breaks my heart a little bit inside. It's just like, oh no! City of Bones series. I just read the last book like a few months ago, and oh my god, I'm like desperately waiting for late 2015 when the next arc in the series is released. So when you fall in love with these characters and their story, like I did, then, you know, you'll have hope because it's not over after 6 books. 100% over. Anyway. So, this is the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. This series, unbelievable. My mom bought me this book ages ago, and it was sitting in my shelf, and I just didn't read it. I don't know why I didn't, and I'm mad at myself that I didn't read it sooner. But it is one of the best series ever. It's unbelievable. Here, let me read this. When Clary Frey heads out to the Pandemonium Club in New York City, she hardly expects to witness a murder, much less a murder committed by 3 teenagers covered with odd markings. See, I just got chills, and if you didn't already, then you're crazy. This is Clary's first meeting with the Shadowhunters, warriors dedicated to ridding the earth of demons and keeping the odd werewolves and vampires in line. So this really has like everything. It's got demons, vampires, fairies, werewolves, and there's one other. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's the 4. Oh, no, I take that back. There's one more. Oh, yeah, the Warlocks. It's got Warlocks in it. It's got the Shadowhunter. It's good. Okay, hang on. I'm still reading. It's also her first meeting with gorgeous, golden-haired Jace. Okay? They are the love couple of this series. And I love it because it's, like, so, how do I say it? It's just, like, they, like, butt heads at each other, but then when they're together, it's, like, the most like beautiful love with like crazy passion. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful love. It's amazing. Within 24 hours, Clary is pulled into Jace's world with a vengeance when her mother disappears and Clary herself is attacked by a demon. But why would demons be interested in an ordinary mundane like Clary? And how did she suddenly get the sight? The Shadowhunters would like to know. It is one of the best series ever, guys. If you like fantasy stuff, you must read this series. You must with like 1,000, you must, infinity, you must. It's like, you must read this series. There are 6 books in this series, in the arc, and then it continues in the book that is going to be released late next year, and it's like killing me and stuff. I'm just like, I want it now. But I'll wait, because Cassandra Clare is just unbelievable in the way it like twists and turns and the sinister path the story takes. It's just unbelievable. It is so amazingly written. I can't even believe how amazing it is. You guys must read this series if you like that stuff. It is, I can't even say it enough. You just must. You must read it. This one's kind of obvious. Divergent! Yay! The Divergent series by Veronica Ross. Hell, and I tried some missing Hunger Games too. Oh boy. Anyway, Divergent series. You guys probably all know like what the Divergent series is right now. But there are some stubborn Hunger Games fans who are just like, this is a copy of the Hunger Games. Like, why would anyone want to read this? But I'm here to tell you that it's not. It's not a redo of Hunger Games. It's actually very unique. Let me read the back, even though this doesn't really tell you much. It kind of gives you a shiver factor. One choice decides your friends. One choice defines your beliefs. One choice determines your loyalties forever. One choice can transform you. Dun dun dun. Even though the dun 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 was on the back, but you know. This book is very amazing. This is a trilogy, and books released in For's point of view, who's kind of the love interest in this series, were also released in July, which I haven't read yet, so don't give me any spoilers on New Force books. But the 3 books in the Divergent trilogy were unbelievable, and the ending of the actual series, at the end of Allegiant, oh my god, it just, My God, it was so unexpected, and it left me in denial. The last 100 pages left me in denial, and then when I actually shut the book, I literally started screeching like a banshee. Um, the ending was beautiful, but I don't think it should have ended that way. That's all I'm gonna say. Because you are going to become attached to these characters. And let's just say that you're not gonna be ending the series with all of them, which is it's depressing. It's really depressing. Divergent is a must read. Amazing series. I blew through it. Okay. This one is so unbelievably obvious, although it hasn't gotten much attention since the last movie released a year ago. Twilight, man. This was my holy grail. It started everything. I read this at the beginning of 6th grade year. I read all 4 books in that one year, and this book, it started everything. I'll have to tell you the history of like my Barbie games in the future, but like this started everything. Everything. It's amazing. Let's read the back. I love the back. About 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was a vampire. Second, there's a part of him, and I didn't know how dominant that part might be, that thirsted for my blood. And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him. Chills. If you didn't get chills, then you're insane. This is like 1,000 times, but this book, it starts off slow, and I read it for the second time this year, and it was just unbelievable. It definitely started off slow. I definitely had getting trouble getting through New Moon, which is the second book, but the series, it picks up in Eclipse, absolutely, and it picks up in this book too. Excuse me, it picks up in every book. This series is just like unbelievable. It's amazing. I love it so much. And if you guys like vampires and a love romance, like forbidden love almost, Twilight. Must read. The last one in my pile. A Great and Terrible Beauty. I've not read the 3rd book. But from what I've read, it is amazing. And I have to give Liv Bray a ton of credit. Because this book is written like it's supposed to be in, I think, 1897. So this is a long time ago. So the fact it actually is as if you are in that time period and you can actually relate to the characters in the books, it's just mind-blowing. Because this book happened over 100 years ago. And over 125 years ago. It's just the setting in this book, and it just ended up taking such an unbelievable turn. It's so crazy. I just love it. I just love the series so far, and I can't wait to start the next book. Very, very excited. Definitely. Let's read this. Gemma Doyle isn't like other girls. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say that her name is like, the names in here are like not your average, like, modern day names. They're definitely names from that time, and I love it. Gemma Doyle. I love it. Girls with impeccable manners, who speak when spoken to, who remember their station, and who will lie back and think of England when it's required of them. No, 16-year-old Gemma is an island unto herself, sent to the Defence Academy in London after tragedy strikes her family in India. Lonely, guilt-ridden, and prone to visions of the future that have an uncomfortable habit of coming true, Gemma finds a chilly reception. But she's not completely alone. She's been followed by a mysterious young man who warns her to close her mind against the visions. For it's at Spence that Gemma's power to attract the supernatural unfolds. There she becomes entangled with the school's most powerful girls and discovers her mother's connection to a shadowy group called the Order. It's there that her destiny awaits, if only she can believe it. A Great and Terrible Beauty is a curl up under the covers kind of book. I disagree. It's actually kind of scary at first. A vast canvas of rustling skirts and dancing shadows and things that go bump in the night. It's a vividly drawn portrait of the Victorian age, when girls were groomed for lives as rich men's wives. in the story of a girl who saw another way. It's so good, guys. I have not read the last book, and I'm probably going to start it right now because it just drew me back in reading the back. A Great and Terrible Beauty is amazing. It definitely has a supernatural thing to it. It definitely has some stuff like, I want to say magical thing to it. It's definitely not like ordinary. And you're definitely able to relate to the characters in it. It absolutely is an amazing story. And I love it so much. It's awesome. I love it. And this is too freaking fun. But yeah, absolutely love all the books in the pile. I'm also missing The Hunger Games, which is also a really obvious book. They're on the shelf, but like, I just didn't see it. So, yeah. But The Hunger Games is an amazing series as well. The first book is actually very slow, and everyone knows what The Hunger Games is. So the Hunger Games trilogy is also in there. As well as one more book that I think I'm going to give its own, video to, just because it's so awesome. It deserves its own video. That's how awesome the series is. And who knows, I might add a couple other books to that as well, but I think that's it. But those are my favorite series of all time, and they're awesome, and I love them, and they're super awesome, and I'm so glad to have them all in my possession. I am missing a couple books from the Sift and a Seep series, though. I better order those. All amazing series, all amazingly well written. Oh, and the I Am Number 4 series. That series is also in there. Oh, jeez. I gotta look through, like, my Kindle books. I am a huge book reader. All the girls on my mom's side of the family love to read. My grandmother, and then my mom, and then me. We all love to read. The dads, not so much. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That took a long time, but I've got a lot of books, and they're so super awesome, and I love them all. So anyway, I'll probably be adding some more, but thank you so much for watching. Bye!